When we try to understand the ancient empires of the Near East, we typically look to the ruins they left behind. We search for authenticity in the silence of stone, the inscriptions at Bisotun, or the weathered royal tombs of Cyrus and Darius. But stone monuments provide a static record. They often miss the breathing, dynamic reality of the people who built those empires and inhabited these mountains. To find that living history, we have to travel into the steep, rugged peaks of the Zagros mountain range. The traditional dress of this region is a walking 4,000-year-old architectural schematic. These garments represent an unbroken historical transmission, where the structure of the fabric and the specific cuts precisely mirror ancient rock carvings. This lineage is visible in the 3rd millennium BC rock reliefs of the Lulubi and Guchian warriors who once dominated this terrain. Fighting and riding across steep rock faces required immense physical support. By wrapping a thick, multi-layered fabric sash around the abdomen, warriors absorbed shock impacts while effectively bracing the spine and protecting internal organs. Today, the Kurdish peshtwen, or waist sash, utilizes that same biomechanical solution. The knotting structure and placement are identical to the ancient combat gear. The peshtwen is a highly engineered functional tool. Its structural logic remains in use today because it is perfectly adapted to the physical demands of the mountain terrain. By the time of the Achaemenid Empire, the Apadana staircases at Persepolis documented this continuity. Among the tribute-bringing nations are the Medes, ancestors of modern Zagros inhabitants. Stone carvers captured the exact cut of Median trousers. Unlike straight Persian robes, these pants feature deep, wavy folds and a distinctively baggy shape. This wide-thigh, tapered ankle design is the exact pattern used for the modern Shwal. The extra fabric provides the full range of motion necessary to scale craggy rocks without tearing the seams. We see the same logic in the Frenji, or pestak, the thick felt vest with protruding shoulder peaks. It acts as a thermal shield, mirroring the protective mountain armor ancient Median soldiers used to trap body heat against freezing winds. The Zagros environment acted as a harsh editor, preserving the clothing forms that guaranteed survival and filtering out the rest. This preservation also extends to women's fashion, which carries the markers of ancient imperial luxury. These silver plates from the Parthian and Sassanid eras show queens wearing intricate halo-like crowns and heavy draped fabrics. The modern clouser, a miniature hat draped in gold and silver coins, repeats the design of those ancient royal diadems. The dangling coins serve as a direct echo of Sassanid court majesty. Similarly, the halri, large silk headscarves featuring mythic motifs, continues the veiling and draping practices of the ancient nobility. While the empires collapsed, the aesthetic identity of their royalty was democratized, becoming part of the daily dress of Zagros women. The military sash of the Lulubi, the mountain trousers of the Medes, the royal diadems of the Sassanids. Textiles and clothing are a medium of historical transmission as precise as written text. Stone capitals eventually crumble and are buried in the dust. Human habits are far more resilient. True historical permanence is achieved by weaving history into the daily rituals and the living culture of a people. But the physical shape of these garments is only one layer of the story. In the Sassanid era, a new complexity appeared, visible in the colossal rock grottos of Taq-e Bostan. These vibrant colors, the intense yellows, reds, and greens, trace back to the specific ideological requirements of an ancient religion. In our next episode, we will follow the Zoroastrian philosophy directly into the divats of the Zagros. Carved into the cliffs of Kermanshah, the great arches of Kermanshah, Taq-e Bostan stand as heavy, undeniable evidence of the Sassanid Empire's reach. But stone is entirely passive. With every passing century, wind and seasonal rains smooth over the intricate details of ancient generals and kings. The blueprints for Sassanid military engineering and royal fashion didn't actually weather away into the dust. People are still wearing them. What we recognize today as traditional Kurdish clothing acts as a fully preserved, wearable encyclopedia of ancient Iranian design. To accurately see the Sassanid superpower, we must pull focus away from static archaeological sites and look at the living anthropology woven directly into the daily garments of the Zagros Mountains. Take the Seurani. These are striking, meter-long, cone-shaped sleeves that catch the wind and define the garment's ancient silhouette. You can spot the exact same open sleeves on King Khosrow Parviz and his royal musicians in the stone reliefs, where leaving them untied signaled peace and high status. Yet in a physical skirmish or a chaotic hunt, loose fabric gets you killed. By crossing the long ends and knotting them behind the neck or tightly around the wrists, a soldier instantly clears their hands for action. Modern Peshmerga forces and local farmers still rely on this exact 2,000-year-old aerodynamic life hack to survive harsh field conditions today. The Seurani operates entirely as dual-mode military technology, letting the wearer shift smoothly from peacetime visibility to immediate combat readiness. For women, the long pleated dress known as the kras, layered underneath a short gold-woven vest called the sokma, maps directly onto the couture of Sassanid and Parthian noblewomen, specifically mirroring the coronation gown of the goddess Anahita. There is a deep-rooted tradition of taking actual currency, like these heavy imperial coins, and sewing them directly onto the dense fabric of the sakma vest. This gave the wearer a highly visible, instantly accessible, and entirely portable bank account for her family's wealth. But there is a secondary physical utility here. A dense layer of thick, overlapping metal coins resting over the chest acts as a highly effective sheet of light armor against sudden dagger strikes. Sassanid women's fashion was ruthlessly practical, engineered to combine extreme high-status economic display with literal physical survival. If you look at the complete wardrobe, you notice a deliberate negative space. There is a total absence of dull or muted dyes, replaced instead by an explosion of bright, saturated hues. This diagram breaks down the ancient Iranian three-tier class structure, which enforced a strict symbolic dress code across the entire empire. The top tier was designated by white, symbolizing the spiritual purity of the priesthood. The middle tier was coded red, marking the warrior's blood and physical courage. The foundation of the pyramid was green and yellow, representing the farmers, the earth, and the natural harvest. By combining all three class colors, the garment channels Khvarenah, a fiery, divine confirmation drawn straight from Zoroastrian cosmology. This tradition translates the bright fabrics of the Zagros into a calibrated, wearable matrix of Zoroastrian philosophy. In a single silhouette, the garment combines the wings of ancient gods, the armor of nobles, and the social code of a lost empire. We rely on heavy stone carvings to anchor our history, but ironically, the hard rock of the Sassanids is slowly failing, while their soft textiles survived. While imperial architects carved the cliffs, local weavers became the guardians of Sassanid history, copying stone inscriptions onto wool and silk for centuries. And they kept that history in its original geographic context, thriving right here in the open air, instead of being locked away in a climate-controlled museum display. The people of the Zagros Mountains ensured that ancient Iranian identity remains exactly what it was designed to be, a living, moving monument that continues to walk in the sun.